Hi, I'm Gary Striegler. Thanks for taking the time to look at this video. And what I want to do is kind of take you on a journey back through time of the ways that I have built frames and joined wood since I started my career. Now, as a trim carpenter and a cabinet builder, joining wood in a frame like this is something I do all the time. It could be building a cabinet, or it could be something like a pilaster for a fireplace or wainscot on the wall. But so building frames is just something we did all the time, and there's even a whole bunch more things than that. So what I wanted to do is kind of go back through and basically share the options and tell the benefits and such of the different ways of doing that. Now, when I first started, the only way that I was aware of, well, all right, I'm going to stop for a second. Maybe one of the oldest ways in the world to join wood, put together a frame like that, is a mortise and tenon joint. That is fairly high skill level and pretty time consuming. So, especially as someone who's a trim carpenter who does some furniture and cabinetry, that's not a great option for me, although I've got tools to do it now. But when I started, what we actually did, really the only way I knew of, was this. These are dowels. And basically what you'd have to do is you'd have to drill 2 holes in the edge of one board, holes in the other. You would put glue down those holes. Now, you're not going to be able to see it on the video, but these dowels have kind of little ridges on them, or sometimes they had ones that had a spiral. That was to let the glue work its way all the way up through the joint. Because we don't just want to make a butt joint in wood. That's just not strong enough. Should have started out by saying that, so we have to reinforce it. At any rate, you would drill those holes, put some glue in there, and then clamp it together. That's a very strong joint. I actually made that with this machine, which I bought a long time ago, primarily to put together handrails. At any rate, I think there are some fairly economical options for this, but what I really start out with is this, a doweling jig. So it would just clamp on the board. There's different size of dowels there. You drill it through. The biggest challenge, it's fairly quick to drill holes, but the biggest challenge for the dowels is simply absolutely no forgiveness in the joint. Now, one thing that is good about it now, I'm going to try to put these things aside as I get done with them and hope I don't fall at some point. One thing that is kind of good about a dowel, even a very small joint, probably down to a 3/4 inch wide board, you could still put a single dowel in there. Certainly, that doweling jig that I held up was, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. It might pay less. So you can get doweling jigs. You certainly don't want to try and drill those holes freehand. Let's make sure we get that out of the way. But, doweling jigs, you can get them, some very expensive ones that really help you with that alignment thing. Because again, if I've got to get if that piece needs to be right there, I've got to get those holes exactly the same. There's no side-to-side forgiveness. This joint is always going to require, clamping. And one of the other things is if you're off at all, sometimes the face doesn't line up too well. Anyway, I haven't used dowels in a long, long time. All right, so the first big jump that was really great for me was one of these, a biscuit joiner. Now, practically speaking, there's about 3 sizes of biscuits that most machines do. This is the biggest one, this is the smallest one, and it simply is, basically it's like a little saw blade that goes in and makes a cut. I want to come in here, boy, it's gonna be, actually I think I may want to do it with this. Let's say that I want to make a joint right here. So I would just center this, okay? So I've got those 2 marks. Now, this machine that's from here to the blade is going to center it, and so this can go up and down probably up to 2 inches. Uh-oh. I could have sworn I had some safety glasses around here. I knew this wasn't going to be as smooth as I wanted it to be. At least I knew where they were. All right. So what's key with this machine is you have to keep that flat on top as you go. All right. You can tell this is pretty quick. All right, see, this almost came out the sides. This is for the biggest one, but this is a kind of a compressed wood wafer. It expands a little bit. Now, I'm not an expert on this, but it does expand a little bit when it gets the glue on. So you put glue in there, you put that in there. Make the joint, does a good job of lining it up on the face. It has actually a pretty good bit of side-to-side adjustment, probably almost up to 1/4 of an inch. And what I would probably do if I was actually going to be joining a board this narrow is I'd just go down to a smaller size biscuit. There are also some really expensive, some people still swear by the biscuit joiner because there's a company, I'm hoping I don't slur the name, it's called Lamello, I think that's it, that really makes the Cadillac of these. And they have these connectors you can put in that click and it's locked in. You don't have to clamp those, but practically speaking, you know, a biscuit joiner like this, or I think they call them plate joiners, is around 200 bucks. You can get them at most of the big box stores. Again, this joint though has some adjustability, lines up nice on the face, but you still have to clamp it. And one of the things I probably should say too, so if I was putting this frame together with dowels or with biscuits, or the next thing I'm going to talk about, loose tenons, I basically have to, you know, bring these two pieces in first, and then I have to bring these two pieces in, then clamp the whole thing. In other words, I have to put the whole frame, assemble the whole frame at one time, and then clamp it and wait for the glue to dry, at least 30 minutes, and sometimes up to a couple hours. So anyway, but again, this was amazing compared to dowels because it was quick, wasn't terribly expensive, and it had some adjustment, which is really big for me. Okay, so I'm gonna put the, and by the way, I think also that if you get in those more expensive machines, there may even be some tiny little biscuits, but again, for most people, this works well. It does a great job of aligning the top. Sometimes you'll even see people who will alternate pocket screws, like putting a long joint, pocket screws, and the biscuits, you know, absolutely lock in the alignment, and the pocket screws pull the joint together so that you don't have to, you know, wait for the glue. Now, so I've already kind of spoiler alert, I've already said, so the next thing for me that came along, which absolutely changed my world, is the pocket screw. It's basically done with a drill bit, although there are machines that use a router also. But for most people, the Craig jig, or some version of the Craig jig, is going to be the most economical. What I absolutely loved about this is that I get to put the joint together one at a time. Like if you look at the back of this frame, I put this joint down, just lined this edge up, put this together. Then I probably came down here, lined this joint up, screwed that together. All the way around, I could put together one joint at a time. I can line it up anywhere. I mean, once I've drilled these two holes, the only thing that happens in this edge is the screws going into it. So I could have put this anywhere along here. Very forgiving because the exactness of the joint only happens in the way that these two screw holes. Now, about the smallest, I put two holes in this. This is a little, about 1 1/4 inch. You get down to about 1.5 inch wide board. So that's, you know, you generally want 2 pocket screws or else the board will twist. You could just use one and get down to maybe a 1 inch wide board. Of course, I'm always going to put glue in those joints. Again, every one of these joints I'm talking about, you need to put glue in. All right, so just kind of quickly, how does this work? Probably super helpful to have a couple pocket screws. I got a driver right down here. Okay. Again, always use glue. I'm just going to put a little glue on, only need glue on one side. It's not like the dowels where you had to put glue kind of on both sides. Now you also always want to clamp it. So I could put this in, I can put it flush, or I can just, I can just say, I'm going to put it right there. And then, because that clamp is pushing down, it's going to be flush on the front. Okay. That's the joint. There's very little sanding on the front. I didn't have to clamp it, and it's very strong, but still I always want to put glue in there. Now, there are some limitations to this joint. For instance, if you're doing something where you're going to see the back, you kind of have to plug those holes. I've known people like they were building cabinets that had glass doors on both sides. Well, then you see those holes in the back. So there are some limitations, but generally this is about the fastest and most forgiving way that I know of to join wood. And this is, I should have got down my very first Craig jig to show it, but this is kind of the version that I like. They have some other ones that are available in the big box stores. They still sell this, what they call L-shaped clamp. Basically, this block moves up and down, although almost everything I do is 3/4 thick. This is adjustable, and you use this step bit. Now, they have even some smaller handheld units. I'm guessing you could get to the point of making a pocket screw hole for maybe as little as $25, $30. They all make the same hole. It just depends on how fast you want to do. I think we earlier did a video showing with their new products, the Rebel, which is a cordless handheld machine. Over here, I've got one of the best things I ever did in my shop was invest in a kind of a cabinet unit that all I got to do is tap my foot and it drills a hole. So just mention in passing, but again, I love this machine. This is, although there's even nicer machines, but this machine, all I have to do that. Obviously, clamps, drills the hole all in one. Now, there's also a machine, this is thousands of dollars, but they also make a machine they call a Foreman, which is kind of in between that handheld jig and this. If you're maybe have a small cabinet shop, a serious woodworker, I bought lots of tools I couldn't justify buying. I just want them. So if you're like me, you want to check this out, or check out the Craig's Foreman, which is a wonderful machine. So one of the things that happened, though, along the way is people started talking about loose tenons. Basically, this is a loose tenon. By far the best known is the domino. The domino is a great machine. Craig has also come up with their mortise mate, which for some sizes does the same thing. I think we've already done a video on the mortise mate, but in essence, what I'm going to do, let's see here. If I wanted to, let's say I want to put this down at the end. I'm going to put a mark right there. And by the way, I'm not by no means am I an expert on the domino. Well, I've got this one and the XL both, but you need to make a centering mark. So there's multiple settings on this where you can get a very tight hole, a very loose hole. I guess I'll go ahead and make a tight hole. Again, that was super fast. This is a really, again, I'd put glue in there, but this is a really strong joint. And one of the things that I do like, the fact that there's wood going into each half of the joint. See, there's the tight one. So what I normally do is I'd probably go ahead and put some glue in that tight one. There we go. And then put glue in that, and see there is some adjustment. If I'd made both of those holes the sloppy setting, I'd have even more adjustment. Again, the thing about this though, you do have to clamp it, wait for the glue to dry, and again, there's lots of other things you can do with the domino, but I'm just talking about in relationship, putting together a face frame. And again, same thing with the mortise mate. And again, the mortise mate is fantastic if you want to do this type of joinery at a lower price point. I don't even know for sure. Dominoes, maybe $1,200, $1,400, maybe $1,500. Now, I honestly don't know. It does by changing the cutters. This is the biggest domino that I can put in there, but you can also get down to, now I don't even know if my hands are good enough to hold this tiny one, which could go in a very small place, very thin board. And you know, there's tons of people out there that, if you really want to learn about this, you can probably Google, and there's people that are just, I use one fairly often, but I'm certainly not the world's expert. And by the way, it's super easy to change the cutters on this, which is really nice. Lots of up and down adjustments. Let me see what else I got. It does a great job aligning the surface, but again, you do have to assemble the whole frame at one time and clamp it and wait. Now, there's only one more thing. You think there's never going to be an end to this. And this one is something that we've already shown once, but I did just want to show it, and that is, so this is a Hoffman key. Now, it is a very specialized machine. Literally, the entry point's probably $2,500, but it is a great way to put together wood. Again, the surface alignment is amazing. It's pretty quick because you just go up the machine and do that. And you get this cut in the back. Again, you would put glue in the joint. You'd probably, for this miter joint, probably put 2 in, and that's primarily what I use it for. But it has the advantage of the fact that, so if I can get this out of the way real quick, I would put glue in there like this, and man, as soon as, whoops, well, these aren't going to line up. I thought I had them lined up. It's going to be a very funny looking joint. But I'd line those 2 up and just the machine normally lines up. I found this scrap wood on the floor. I thought, that'll be easy to do. I probably should have done my homework a little more, but at any rate, so joint's done. So, you know, can go narrow boards really quick. The layout is absolutely critical on these. There is no side-to-side adjustment, but the machine does a pretty good job, whether it be mitered or even a butt joint, of lining that for you. Anyway, so that is kind of my history of putting wood together for frames. There's certainly a lot of other things you can do with any one of these, you know, joining plywood to solid wood, joining 2 pieces of plywood together, you know, solid wood at a right angle, lots of things you can do. But I just kind of wanted to take that trip back down memory lane and show you all the ways that I've put wood together over the years.